Hello,
Hello.
how are
Can
you?
you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Great. Yes, it's perfect.
Okay. It is awesome to meet you, Emily. How are you?
I'm doing really, really good. I just got married 2 weeks ago, so I'm still enjoying like the vibe.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Solitude Within, you released a new album in 2022 called When Kingdoms Fall. And that is like the what I noticed, now this is just my perspective, so could be completely different. Like you wrote some of the lyrics like from an not only like an observant perspective, but also like an inside perspective of kingdoms and empires
Yes.
like breaking apart and falling apart, of course. So like what were some of the stories that sparked your inspiration to write not only the lyrics, but in both perspectives?
hmm I think you're referring most to When Kingdoms Fall, like the song, um, because the lyrics are I let this kingdom fall, but it's actually all a metaphor. Um, in in a way that I want to say, I let this kingdom fall, I let this life go, I let everything that I built up go. Um, and I also always want to make sure that people, when they listen to our music, that they can put their own problems and their own situations, that they can see themselves in our lyrics, and that they're open for different perspectives. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, there's a like with one final wish, like that kind of has like some empowering messages to it. Is you
Yeah, it's actually based on my novel, on my first debut novel. So I especially wrote it to fit like the main character and her feelings throughout the novel.
okay? Yeah, that was actually going to be one of my questions because
Yeah.
I read that you're a novelist too, and I was going to ask like, are there any songs that were inspired from one of the novels that you wrote? So that is so cool.
Yeah, people kept asking me, when are you going to write a song about one of your books? And I actually did write one at the album.
Is that the only one that you've written?
It's the
That
only one, yes.
okay. Yeah, well let's talk about some of your novels real quick since we're on the subject. Like when you like first of all, like what was it that sparked you to start writing? Like was it a book that you were so connected to that inspired you, or you just had this overwhelming feeling to just create a novel?
Well, it started with being an avid reader ever since I was a kid. I always loved books. I always loved reading. My parents also read to me a lot. Um, so yeah, the start was my love for books, obviously. But since I was very young, I also started crafting little stories, and then I started writing short books and short stories, and it actually evolved to writing actual novels. And then one day I had my first novel ready, and it was the first time that I thought, what if I try and get it published? And so I sent it to publishing houses, and then one day I got a message from a publisher saying, "Oh my God, we love your story and we would love to publish it." And it was one of the best days of my life.
Oh, that's so cool. When like you get in that mode to create, to write, whether it be like writing a novel or writing music, like what has been like one of those most standout moments that you recall, like when you were just so into it and like everything just felt so magical and like you were just in your own world, nothing else outside of it mattered.
Yeah, it's the best feeling. Like I get the same feeling when I'm writing a song and when I'm very deep into, like when I'm sitting in front of my piano and I'm pushing out lyrics and I'm pushing out vocal lines. It's kind of the same feeling when I'm totally immersed in the characters that I write and the storylines that I make. It's a different level of being away from this world, and it's one of the best things. I really needed to like be happy. It's like I I I just need it.
Yeah, with everything that is being shown on the media and going on in this world, yeah, we all need some sort of an escape, an
Yeah, to
artistic
disappear.
outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, art, music, just creating things in general, just
Yes.
yeah, it's amazing for the soul. Yeah, so like you have another song, Ice and Fire, which that one is I love the melodies in it. So when the lyrics were coming to you, what were you visualizing as you were writing it?
I need a moment to recall what the lyrics are. Oh yeah. I just had the chorus, and I like in the chorus I'm referring to people who think they're better than other people, and they're sitting on their throne, like in a way that they're looking down at others, feeling superior, and um they're reigning their empire. It's like also a metaphor. So
Yeah, there's a lot of that goes on in the world too.
yes, indeed.
Yes, we all wish all of us could get on the same, like the equality
Yeah.
wavelength where we're all like nobody's better than anyone.
Hmm.
No.
We'll never get there.
I, I have faith through music. Music can help us all because there's a way that music speaks and people listen. Because
Mm-hmm.
somebody can go on a talk show or whatever and speak, but people don't necessarily listen. Sometimes they do, but
Mm-hmm.
when it's music, I mean, like look at the connections in the crowds with like some of our favorite bands.
Yes, and I especially value lyrics. I think they're so important. So I take a lot of time to like really sit down and see what I want to say.
What are some of the most important messages that you have come up with that you really wanted to get across through your lyrics with not only When Kingdoms Fall or and
Hmm.
um the Disappear.
It's not really a message that I want to like bring to people. It's more like a feeling. Like I want them to feel like they're not alone and that they're supported and that they're not alone in their pain and their heartbreak and their sorrows. So I have felt all those feelings, and I try to put them into songs of 2 minutes. And I'm hoping that people in those 2 or 3 minutes feel like they have um they have been understood, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
What that to change the perspective around, what are some lyrics like from some of your favorite artists and bands that really have, made a powerful impact on you with the messages that they have?
um Not so much the messages, but one of my favorite bands is Seether. And their music, like whenever I felt emotional or very bad, especially my teenage years, and when I suffered from a lot of heartbreak, I always listened to Seether, and they always made me feel better. And it wasn't always the lyrics, but just like the feeling of the combination of the music and lyrics. Like it's just one big combination of everything, and his voice and the lyrics and the music.
Yeah, they're an amazing band.
Yay.
Yeah, there's a lot of incredible artists out there. Never
Mm,
seen them live yet, which is crazy. One day.
one
Have
day,
you
I hope so. Yes, I've seen them once acoustic and I think twice with full band, and I prefer the acoustic version actually because the sound, for some reason, the sound is always super bad when they perform. I don't know why, but you can barely hear his voice, and he has such a great voice. Um, so I prefer to hear them acoustic because then his voice really pierces through.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see an acoustic show like that. I've been to one and it was Saliva doing
Oh
an
yeah,
acoustic
love them
one.
too.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Wayne. Yeah. Yeah. What is one of the tracks that you feel on When Kingdoms Fall that like is it I guess one of your most favorites and the most that you like reminisce about?
I'm just trying to find our album because it's so hard to pick like a song without seeing them all. But one of my favorites is When Kingdoms Fall, obviously because we named the um title track. I'm sorry, I'm gonna just type our album. When Kingdoms Fall is one of my favorites. Um, Beautifully Broken and Further Away. Those are, I think, my three favorites from the
Yeah,
new album.
Beautifully Broken. That is the opening track of that
Yes,
album.
that's
Yeah,
correct. Yeah,
yeah, I really enjoy that one.
that's
Like,
great to hear.
what yeah, what was some of the inspiration for Beautifully Broken? That
Most of these songs are based on hard moments in my life, especially in my love life. So it's just easy um, to create from a place that is how do I say it? When you're broken, you it's like it's weird, but you can create the most beautiful things when you're sad. It's so tragic. And so a lot of the lyrics come from just heartbreak. And I know a lot of people suffer from it. And so it's easy to help people with it, I think, by writing about it because everyone has felt it.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
uh, like like we were talking about, like music, it it people listen to it and connect, and it's something that makes us all not feel alone with what we're going through because somebody else
exactly.
is going through the same thing, maybe just in a
Yes.
different way.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, that's beauty about music.
indeed. I agree.
So with Disappear, going from Disappear to When Kingdoms Fall, what do you feel like is something that made you stronger as not only a vocalist but also a lyricist from between in between those two albums?
I think we have grown in the writing process a lot. We have learned a lot since our first album, and in my personal opinion, you can hear a lot of difference between the first album and the second one. Um, it's of course also due to a better editing. How do you say it? Mastering. Like we hired someone to really master our music and to make it sound better, and that has really made a huge difference. But of course, we have also grown as composers. Um, I also must admit that I pay a lot more attention to my lyrics. Like I go over and over them. Like in the past, I was less being less perfectionist about my lyrics, and I just, if something came up in my head and I wrote them down and they didn't change anymore. But then with this album, I kept like changing things and making it better. And yeah, I think all levels have changed in our music.
Yeah, and even musically, it's like there are some tracks that seem like on Disappear that even have like some bluesy guitar elements to it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so your voice, you were you inspired by like Celtic folk artists at all vocally?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't listen to that music.
Okay. Yeah, there's it. Well, then who were some of the artists that you would listen to over and over and like inspired you to hone your vocal ability?
Um, it's a really hard question for me because I have to admit that I don't listen a lot of music. Like I have certain bands that I listen to, like Seeter, but I have a very difficult taste, and I am very difficult in finding a vocalist that I really love. Like usually I like the music, but the vocals are making or breaking the music for me, and I am very high demanding on the vocals, so that's a problem. So I usually listen to classical music. um, but a great inspiration has always been Amy Lee from Evanescence. Like I listened to them a lot in my teenage years, and she has always been like this example of, oh my God, I want to sound like her. Um, but I have to admit I don't really listen to it anymore because their music has changed a lot.
Yeah, music definitely evolves.
Yeah. But I
Yeah,
hope that answers your question.
yes, yes. Yeah, well, those are all of my questions that I have, unless there's anything else you want to get out to the world.
Well, I'd like to say that you can follow our concert tours on our website. So if you're interested in coming to our concerts, you can find everything on solitudewithin .com, I think. And we're also on Facebook and on Instagram, so you can also check that out. And I just want to say to you, thank you so much for inviting me and for the talk. It was really cozy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time. So it's always amazing to chat with artists from literally the other side of the world. It's another beautiful thing about music, how it connects us
Yeah,
all.
it connects people. It's true. And
Yeah.
are you going to write a blog, or is it going to be in video format?
It's probably gonna be, I've been doing more audio and then writing the article along with it.
Oh, okay. So you're really writing the article based on the recording that we did.
Yep. Yep.
Perfect. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Will you send us the link?
Oh, of course, of course,
Great.
of course.
Then we can share it for you.
Oh, awesome. And I'll be spreading it around like crazy too. And
Amazing.
I'm gonna end this whenever you do a tour and you come out to the United States, put Fargo on the list. We have some pretty cool venues out.
Great. So we would love to come, but it's not so easy. It's far
Um,
away, and yeah,
well, eventually.
eventually, let's hope.
Whenever that day comes.
Let's hope.
Or either I'll come out to Belgium and watch one of your shows.
That's also an option. More plausible.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Emily. It's been
Thank
so
you,
nice chatting with you.
and have a lovely weekend.
You as well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.